Hey guys, it's Helen here, and I am the CheeseCake runner, and I help first-time runners get trained, ready and prepared to run their first race, whether it's a half marathon or a marathon. And today I am joined by Tom Bedford, who is the race director for Richmond RUNFEST. Hi Tom, how's it going?
Oh, how's it going?
Virtually.
Yep, in isolation. We need to come up with a fun name for this because this could be going on for a little while.
Absolutely. So, what's going on with RUNFEST right now? RUNFEST and Air Run. I know the last time we spoke, it was getting really, really busy. You were really focused in on planning and preparing Air Run, which was due to be run 31st, I think it was 31st of
31st of
May,
May, yeah.
and
Yep.
that's all over. So, how has coronavirus really affected your business and the races that you were putting on?
Yeah, I mean it's a continuing it's a continuing nightmare at the moment, to be brutal. And listen, I don't want to come across as moaning and everything else, but because it's tough for everyone out there in their own individual stages. But just from an event point of view, yeah, we had to postpone Air Run until the 25th of October. We took that decision quite early on the day that London Marathon was postponed, because if London Marathon was moving, then it was serious. So we postponed to there. So fingers crossed we get another opportunity to put on that, because we've done all the work. I was about to be, this week was going to be all about operations, last parts of selling. But you get to stages with an event where you start to wrap up things. So are we going to get any more sponsors? Okay, well you stop looking, and then you just concentrate on the operations side of it. So yeah, as a team, we're about to go into the operations bit, and suddenly the can's been kicked down the road. And so that's going in October 25th, and we're now moving our eyes around to Richmond RUNFEST, which is on the 12th and 13th of September. So we're looking at that, and but I mean this is meant to be our key selling month. April, it's March, but April is our, we'd probably get in half the amount of our ticket sales during this month. Okay, with the inspiration of big half marathons finishing, inspiring friends and families to enter half marathons, but also London Marathon is a key major, and other big marathons across the country. And and we won't get that this year. So we've probably gone from we were 10% ahead of schedule, and I don't really want to have a look at the moment.
I think we're all like that right now. It's impacting absolutely everybody. So specifically, how is this affecting you? So it's having a massive impact on obviously sales, but with Air Run move from May to October. I mean, that's great that you found another date where you can do that run. But I'm guessing people are like, what am I going to do? Am I going to, autumn for me is looking horrendous. I've now got 3 marathons booked in, Abingdon cancelled. So there's Milton Keynes, RUNFEST, and London. Do I have the legs for it? So people's autumns are getting a bit tight. Is that impacting on you guys?
I think so. And the reality is, I think most people went into this saying, oh, it's quite a weird situation, and we just don't know. We've not been through this before. No one's been through this before, and the things I might be moaning about and looking at right now, in 3 months' time, if we're still in the same situation, it might be, don't worry about the things I was worrying about. I'm worrying about other things. But yeah, I mean, looking at the whole event industry at the moment, I mean, it's tough out there, for fellow event promoters, big and small. I've got a smaller problem, with Air Run. We were thankfully able to get another opportunity. It takes a lot to close down Richmond Park. And we were offered 2 dates. One was 2 weeks after Richmond RUNFEST, which our small team, there's only 3 of us full time, and we are, if you see us after the event, you know we've been through a few rounds putting that on. So we just couldn't do it in that time frame there. So we've actually gone to another day, and I've got, you know, a great guy locally, Roy Reeder, who helps out with local running clubs, the Stragglers, and he's got his own race, and it's the same day as his event. You know, I was having a conversation with him, and it's sort of, you know, it's you know, all these knock-on effects have massive effects. You could almost look at it that all the poor spring events that weren't able to put on their event, they've actually got all the ticket sales in. So all they've got to do is deliver the event for it to actually happen. You know, I was having a chat with one of the venues today, and there's 2 sides of doing this. So when we come out of this, which no one knows, you know, there's actually putting the event on. Can you do it operationally? Will the green light be ready to come up again? But you've got to pay for all this as well. So if you haven't got the ticket sales, okay, and suddenly, you know, you think of it like a Formula One track, okay, and you've got the safety car out, and you just don't know when that flag's going to be released, okay, and that could be advantageous to some people, and it could be, you know, too late for a lot of other people. And, you know, it's not anyone's fault. It's just, you know, no one knows. And if you're a runner at the moment, you know, of course you're not going to be, of course you're not going to be entering races, okay, and looking that far ahead. One, there's more pressing things going on out there, okay, you know, in this world, okay, to be looking at. And then, you know, 2, you know, what's the refund policies, what, you know, what goes on with all of this sort of thing. So, you know, it's certainly not a poor me situation, or poor events industry. You know, I feel really gutted for contractors at the moment, because they're losing business, and they're, you know, having to keep lean at the moment, you know, do various things with their occasional staff. And then they know they're going to have to work almost 3 times as hard this winter, because the events are going to be happening, and they can't afford to lose these, you know, to lose the big events. And then you don't want to lose your smaller customers and everything else. So they're going to be paying for it from the amount of hours that they'll be working, if they're fortunate enough to get an autumn season.
Yeah, it's just a crazy year, I think, that we're in. So I know that you have rescheduled air runs. So why are some events cancelling and others are postponing? What's the word on the street in terms of races?
I think, you know, I think a lot of it is, you know, that with the running industry around the world, we share 10,000 meters, we share a distance, we share half marathon, full marathon, but that's pretty much all that we share. There are a lot of similarities. So, you know, somewhere along the lines, getting a t-shirt after the event and a medal become the norm, okay, and it's like an unwritten rule when you're not a serious event.
I have a t-shirt.
How did that happen? Okay, you know, so you know, it's very difficult to speak for everyone, okay, and but the simple answer is, you know, lots of events are organized in different ways. You know, they're charity events, they're running club events, they're professional. I'm a professional operator, okay, and we've got 3 full-time staff, okay. We take all of our stuff, you know, super seriously, but, you know, we have an office. I've committed to, you know, me and my wife, Jay, we put on the Richmond RUNFEST for 7 years. You know, I wanted to give a little raise to my Sarah, who you know, is really makes the event tick and is a key part of it, okay. But I've had to have serious conversations with her and say, listen, we need, I can still pay you, but, you know, we're going to have to look at this at the end of the year, okay, and see what happens, because there's just no guarantee with it at the moment. Some events organisers are, you know, a lot of the running events and a lot of general events, they will run, they'll lose money. I know I lost money for the first 2 years and then pretty much broke even. So a lot of running events, depending on where they are in their timeline, will be at different stages of their life. And, you know, it's a competitive world out there. You're spending a lot of money on marketing up front, which you're not going to get back. You know, you're investing in staff, you're investing in offices, you're investing in, and then, you know, depending on different times of it, you've already bought t-shirts or you've committed to buying t-shirts. So it's, you know, they're the many reasons for it. And then you've got, you know, I guess in terms of, if you've got the ability to postpone, and I'm actually very surprised that a lot of, you know, we're based in London, so I'm actually very surprised at the amount of races in London that have been able to reschedule.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot of the venue, you know, the councils are now looking at it and saying, right, if this event doesn't happen, these guys are out of business. So we've got to start again, you know. So you know, so a lot of venues are saying, brilliant. Well, let's do this half marathon. There's a free weekend here. Yes, there's another 4 races locally during that period, but you know, at least you don't go out of business. And they're not thinking about the next stage to it, which, you know, ultimately autumn marathon events will actually lose massively out of this compared to the spring events at the moment, or at least maybe how I'm selfishly seeing it as an autumn event.